I'm scarred with dry and audit team. That's not the case. It's fake.
What is the case?
Now, before I can come to what is the case, it's like 15 cars don't go out to the county. So this is the fact. This is why that normally happens. Take, for example, Maryland, Grand Crew, Sino. One car is assigned to these 3 counties, and one audit team goes for the audit. Kepma, Bapolu, Bummy, another car goes there for audit, and an auditing goes on. So sometimes we use 5, 6 cars, 7 cars, but Batten will say 15 cars, which is not the case.
No human being in this country loves Joshua more than me. No, God has not made that person yet. Plus, we have this collective guilt syndrome. Our crewmen, we are crewmen. Tomorrow, when this thing hits the fan because of my silence, people will call all crew people. Crew people are not known for being silent when they should speak out. I'm speaking out now. I've talked my own. Were you happy? Will the man be withdrawn or rejected by the Senate? At least the record will reflect. And I'm going to make all the radio stations and the newspapers so that my children will know that when a natural-born Nigerian was appointed, our father opposed to it. Our father's friend, His Excellency George Mane Bakubewia, made that decision, and our father looked in his face and said, no. What is wrong with the executive committee of our party meeting with the standard bearer? All elected members of the party are members of the executive committee. When these kind of controversial things are coming, we should go to Jamaica or go to our party headquarters and bushel it. Then we will be selling it. But if some of us hear it on radio like opposition people do, then you don't give us enough reason to fight. What kind of appointment the president made and ordinary citizens are paying for spots on radio to go defend it? Does this make any sense to you? Doesn't it smell? It is stink. It is stink. This appointment should be withdrawn by the president. Like I told you, as soon as I get home, I get ready. Wherever the president is today, I will go there. I want to hold his 2 feet on camera and everything else. Rear my 2 hands, I'll wash them whatever way they want me to wash my hands. I'll wash them and I'll hold it 2 feet to withdraw this appointment. Let him look.
That's what I tell my people every day. You can go protest 100 times. Tell me how the protest is going to transform your life. Especially so we have a situation right now. You come up with a protest. Look, I have said, any revolution without a direction is not a revolution for you to participate in. You come up with a revolution and say, George, we have to step down. Few days on because you are pressured. Then you said, no, it's just a peaceful protest. That's not a revolution with direction. It's a confused revolution. By that, you have already placed life of the people that you want to assemble in danger because you created war for the government to act. When we did the Bring Back Our Money campaign, and we were at the University of Liberia when we did the meeting, and I said to my corporate, I'm going to issue a state of emergency. Martin Foley and the rest of a lot of people say it was a harsh position. And I said to them, the EFL will issue a state of emergency. I was never afraid. And those who know me know that I'm never afraid when I want to do something. And we went home and issued a state of emergency. We went to the meeting with the Justice Minister. He said, who gave the authority? I said, because there's no president. I don't care about how you feel. Once we agree that this is the agenda of the revolution, we must execute it. When you come out, you say, we have stepped down. Few days on, you come by and say it's a peaceful protest. You are Jake. You're just rallying the people because the people are not educated, so you're using their gullibility or you're using their ignorance to be able to rise to power. It's a protest without direction. So young people should not support it. A protest without have direction. When we did the Ellen Step Down campaign, those of you who know us here, when we did the Ellen Step Down campaign, we did not change the nomenclature of the Ellen Step Down campaign. We held on. The United Party put all their sophistication, including he put all their sophistication and condemned the protest. He here many times stood here and condemned it. All the ministers in government condemned the protest.
Today is Wednesday, April 5, 2023. What a pleasant way to welcome you to another edition of the Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. We are the official voice of Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation. We're beaming live and direct from the corner of Broad and Buchanan Streets, downtown Monrovia. And of course, this is where we talk all of the hard talks about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. This platform was designed exclusively to dig out all of those interesting developments about Liberia, talk all of the hard talks about Liberia, folks. And so it is my pleasure to say good afternoon to you from wherever you are joining us, whatever you're doing on this lovely Wednesday afternoon in Monrovia. And welcome to the Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. My name is THEO Williams. My colleague is Anthony JIFFAN. Together, we will drill you with lots of interesting developments between 9 to 6 o'clock. And so, having said that, let me welcome my colleague, Tony JIFFAN, who is just right by my side this afternoon. Tony, it's a pleasure. Welcome to the Hard Talk. Another presentation is on a Wednesday.
Well, let me say good afternoon, and it's always great being on the show, particularly on a midweek presentation when the entire presentation is jammed as to issues and those who are involved with the issues.
Yeah,
but it's always good being here.
Great. And so very shortly we'll take our wise words for the day. And then later on we have in our studio an aspirant at district number 14, Emmanuel Barnes, will join us as we talk about his ambition to contest the seat of the district. We also talk about his chances ahead of the elections in October, folks. Then at 5, later on at 5, we'll take a musical brief out. Following the musical brief out, we'll play host to Dr. Jeremiah Wapo, political leader of the Vision for Liberia's Transformation Party, VOT. We'll be talking about the signing of the Farmington Declaration and other national issues on the second and final lap of the show. And so, like my colleague told you, it's a jam-packed presentation you wouldn't want to miss out on. So all we ask you to do is to invite a friend to keep glued to the broadcast as we bring you the Wednesday's edition of the Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. Once again, my name is THEO Williams. My colleague is Anthony JIFFAN. JIFFAN, what do we have on the plate for our wise words of the day?
Well, for our wise words of the day, quickly, we have something very, very fascinating. It says, never mistake knowledge for wisdom. Never mistake knowledge for wisdom. One helps you make a living. The other helps you make life. And I want to say that again. It says, never mistake knowledge for wisdom. One helps you make a living. The other helps you make a life.
So that means there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom, right?
Right. That's what I'm trying to tell us.
Yeah, great. Well, that's the wise word of the day. Well, hope you can listen to that and, of course, improve in whatever capacity as we move along the show on today, or as you move along your regular hustle or your activities, if you will. Well, let's take a break now as we usher in our guests. But before doing that, Anthony, on yesterday, I attended the official signing ceremony of the Farmington River Declaration, where political parties, heads of political parties gather to commit themselves to maintaining the peace and stability of this country. And I felt it was something good, on the part of political leaders of this country,
right,
by committing themselves to the peace we all enjoy on today in this country. Over 20 years of peace and stability.
Right.
Yes, so it means a lot. But interestingly, on yesterday, during the official signing ceremony, when they were calling names of parties and political leaders, I did not see this young man who is the head of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia, Emmanuel Gonkwe. But when I came out following the entire program, I was informed that Gonkwe was denied entry into the Farmington Hotel on grounds that he arrived very late. And so then I asked myself, is it how he's going to rule the country? He wants to be president. He's critical, he's vocal on public officials, and then he's not respecting time. He's not punctual. He's not. I was concerned, Anthony. And interestingly, you had lots of our partners there from the United Nations, ECOWAS, civil society organizations, the media,
in fact,
all of the major actors,
diplomatic missions.
Yes,
in Liberia,
all of the political actors were present yesterday. I mean, they were in time. And as soon as the president arrived at exactly 1 o'clock, so was it 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock? Yes.
Okay.
The ceremony commenced. And so Gonkwe was late. So he was denied entry. In my opinion, that is no case.
And this is whether you like it or not, is a normal thing everywhere that when the chief executive enters,
of course,
there are some restrictions
of course
on movement. And so if you are to attend a program with the chief executive, you have to do all you can to be in time. Because as soon as he or she enters, it becomes difficult for you who's just coming to find your way through.
Exactly.
And so
exactly. And so that was the situation on yesterday with Emmanuel Gonkwe, head of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia. But this break, we just start to say that in passing. It's often said one who comes with equity must come with clean hands.
Yes, one who preaches equity must come with
clean hands. You cannot be holding government officials accountable on issues about Liberia, issues of accountability,
and then you're
not being punctual. You want to be head of state.
You're not being serious.
Yeah, you're not being serious.
And so when you want to talk about serious, for me, I like to be very clear and straight with what I say. If you want to talk about seriousness, you want to redeem people from what you call abject poverty, and you think that you're not corrupt and other things, you too should always be in the position. In fact, you should lead by example.
Certainly.
The Bible says, let your light shine before men, that they may see you and follow the good work of the Father who is in heaven. So if you're preaching and you're not doing what the Bible says, then why are you preaching?
Certainly, Anthony. I was impressed when I saw the whole jam-packed to capacity.
At least we have
with a lot of international partners, ambassadors of various countries accredited to Monrovia were in attendance of that program yesterday. And then Gonkwe decided to go very late. By the way,
we have something now that we can hold our leaders by. They committed themselves to something. They're going to live by it. And so now we can tell them, say, gentlemen, yesterday you were there, you signed. Don't make a mistake.
Of course. So let's take a break as we usher in our guest who is already around the corridors of our institution or entity. Emmanuel Barnes of District 14 will join us very shortly as we talk about his chances, his ambition ahead of the elections in October this year. This break.
When the driver suffer in the mud, when they get to a checkpoint, when they talking to officer, saying, "Oh man, I get now easy and I suffer." Even they see the man that they suffering. They say, "But man, come in the office." They sit in the Palawa house, sometimes in the purple thing. Then they say, "Come to my office." Then when you go, you talk to them. "Oh, I get 300, I get 200 for you to buy battery." And they say, "No, you pay 1,500. It's wrong."
You said rest, you brought 30 rest in the country, your cost on
I asked somebody rest yesterday. Not 30 rest.
But what you were saying, you say the people in the plaza, you said that you pull it now. So I don't expect you to say anything otherwise. You said rest, you brought 30 rest in the country, your cost on
I asked somebody rest yesterday. Not 30 rest.
But what you were saying, you say the people in the plaza, you said that you pull it now. So I don't expect you to say anything otherwise.
Well, it's a pleasure. Good to be back. Thanks for being with us, and welcome to the Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1, the official voice of Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation. Well, our guest is already seated in the studio. And of course, he's Mr. Emmanuel Barnes. Barnes is an aspirant of district number 14. Barnes is here as we talk about his ambition to contest the district seat and also his chances as well ahead of the elections in October. So having said that, it is my pleasure now to welcome you to our studios. Barnes, good afternoon. Thanks for coming.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure being in your studio this afternoon.
How are you today? You look so upbeat.
Yes, I'm terrific because we are in high gear to redeem our district so that the anonymous status of our district over the last 18 years can be replaced with proper representation.
Great. And let's know from you, how have you been engaged with constituents of district number 14 in Maserati County, the people you want to lead?
District number 14 is not a strange corridor to us because we have been resident of that district for the last 19 years.
Okay.
And we are very much knowledgeable about the pertinent issues that affect the people there. We ourselves as individuals have also suffered some of the issues from the district, whether it is flood or it is the issue about sanitation problem. And these are many more of these issues that we are personally aware of, and we have been affected by that. So District 14 generally is not a strange terrain to us.
That brings me to my next question, Emmanuel. Why do you want to represent the people of District 14 at the level of the legislature?
As a young man, back in 2017, we participated in the elections in District number 14, being the youngest at the time, and also being the very last to have declared our intentions. We contested and came fourth out of 7 candidates. Thereafter, we went back to our drawing board, recalibrated, and again decided to launch our bid for representation.
Okay.
So that began by chairing a campaign of now Senator of Maserati County twice in the district. And for the very first time, a predominant opposition.
You mean Sir Joseph?
No, Abraham Darius
Dillon.
He can fund it, I think.
No, I am a member of the Liberty Party.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we chaired that campaign for the very first time. An opposition senatorial candidate was defeated in District 14 with less than 1,000 votes. So since then, we have been engaged with the people, providing the way for better representation. So on the overall, we have tailored our campaign message on the basis of providing of youth and women empowerment through what is known as THEO.
Yeah, okay. So now, fast approaching the 2023 elections, where every Liberian is focused on maybe a change or continuity. What have you seen missing in District 14?
District 14, since its inception or since the return to democratic rule in our district, has been anonymous of Capitol Hill.
Okay.
We elected Honorable Sokan Tie back in 2005.
Regina Sokantia.
Yeah, Regina Sokantia. And she spoke only 3 times in 6 years. In 2011, with the understanding that somebody of affluence, that is someone who already have money, would do better. So they elected an independent candidate in the current lawmaker. Thereafter, he didn't perform. In the midst of that, he went and hid on the CDC ticket in 2017. And by the time, the notion of vote one, vote all was still permeating the political corridors of Monserrado. So he got re-elected. But for 12 years, there is no tangible in terms of representation, lawmaking, oversight. ARA just released their report. This lawmaker is a consistent and persistent and intentional scorer of 0. In fact, at one point in time, they referred to him as a full-time businessman. You cannot be a full-time businessman at the same time be a full-time lawmaker. Since he's business-oriented with the notion of only maximizing profit, this is why the young people of District 14, the women of District 14, the elders of District 14 have seen the need be that one of their own who has been prepared over the passing of time to take up the mantle of the leadership of the district at the legislature.
Okay.
So that is why we can say with all vehemence that we are the most competent candidate or aspiring in the race. We are the most qualified in terms of education. We are the most eloquent in terms of articulating the issues. And we have a history of youth and student service record in this country. Against all of that, it is no doubt that we are going to be one of the top-notch lawmakers come January of 2024 when we shall have assumed the office of District 14 legislative seat.
The task you want to undertake is a very huge one. You have an Cuban lawmaker who has been in the district for 12 years now. Am I correct? Yes. And you want to unseat him. Do you? Is that a problem?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you see the possibility of unseating Ramoya Conan?
There is only one message. There is only one thing that is all in the corridor of District 14. Change. If elections was held today, if election in District 14 was held today, within a space of 1 second, FVC will be a former lawmaker.
What's a yardstick for saying that?
We are on the radio. You will open a telephone line. You will get to know whether, or go take a survey.
You think you have the wherewithal to represent?
I have the intellectual capacity. I have the wherewithal. I have the political might. I have the analytical inclination and everything that it takes to be a good lawmaker.
What difference will you be bringing?
Before you go to that,
the very first,
Emmanuel, before you respond to what you bring to the table, this man in question we're discussing was elected twice. He got elected 2011. In 2017, again he got elected.
Re-elected, yeah.
In that very position, you were there. You were in District 14. Others were there. What now?
Have there not been a defeat of two-term lawmakers? Do you want us to historicize that?
The question is
when you want to stress, Anthony,
he has done nothing for the people of District 14. He sat on Capitol Hill without making a comment in session. Now, in 6 years, this man did nothing for the people of District 14. Now, in 2017,
okay, so let me give you
afforded him another 6 years.
Let me give you some indicators.
When have you realized that?
Let me give you some indicators.
That represented a corner.
So, like I said, let me give you some indicators. About 3 or 4 of those who campaigned for his re-election in 2017 are aspiring to be lawmakers.
Okay.
His own party, on the eve of voter registration commencement, issue a statement telling people, the district leadership of his party, issue a statement telling people of the district to go and register to unseat a sitting lawmaker from their party. The CDC in district number 14, specifically the youth leadership, issue a statement on the eve of voter registration telling citizens of District 14 to go and register to unseat the sitting lawmaker.
One could tell you
that makes you think he's unpopular, right?
The lawmaker is the only lawmaker who cannot appear in public function. The last time he appeared in public function, he was booed, he was jeered at, water bags were thrown at him. When you remember the famous, I don't know what I'm gonna say is famous or infamous statement of the president during his presidential tour of Monserrado County, wherein he said, "When you think you gbana, I gbana more than you." That was in District 14 when FVC was called to the stage to speak. He was being booed at. Water bags were being thrown at him, and that aggravated the president. that citizens. So the citizen in the presence of the president, where in as much as we do not support what happened, but it tells you to what extent that the citizens are tired with failure in terms of representation. I say to you, only one message is in District 14: change. And part of the reasons, part of those things that are clear indicators, about 50% of my campaign team are made of people who are either CDC sooner heads or block leaders or in their party structure. In as much as my campaign generally is built of people from cross-section of political parties and political persuasions, but CDC have majority there. For instance, the person who has operations of my campaign team is Elijah Tokpa. He's a die-hard George Weah.
How did you manage to bring sedition on board to support you and go against their own?
It's simple. I present a clear-cut message of what the people want to hear. I am doing those things that are indicative of a person who will become a better lawmaker. Let me tell you.
What are some of those?
Yeah, so let me tell you this. The first thing, there is something saying that there is a saying that goes that you cannot give what you do not have. Okay. Although some people they're parading to provide better education, this and that, when they themselves have not even completed their own education. Well, as a young man, I hold a Bachelor of Science degree in economics some 8 years ago from the University of Liberia with Public Administration as minor emphasis. I am a candidate for Masters of Arts in International Relations from the University of Liberia Graduate School, IBB.
Okay.
And I have several other professional certificates, whether it's monitoring, evaluation, compliance, banking, and finance, and political campaign strategy, messaging, and leadership, and many others. Aside from that, we bring over 10 years of professional and unblemished financial experience to the table.
Okay.
Then our campaign team, that is youth and women empowerment through THEO, technical vocational education and training. We run a vocational school at the cost of only $15 United States in District 14, and that $15 is being paid only for T-shirts.
How long has that school been running?
The school is officially because we do not have TVET technicality. Okay. So we negotiated with a friend who is a proprietor of a TVET institution outside of the district. Okay. Outside the district, he runs that for $75 and so. So back and forth arrangement, we agreed to subsidizing with some resources amounting to over $210,000 to $250,000 Liberian dollars, for people to attend the TVET institution, for it to be brought to the district, and they should only buy T-shirt and ID card. We pay rent to the Timosa Academy administration on the Freeport Parkway Yarrow opposite City Builder. The institution is housed there. The institution is officially opening on April 10th. At the cost of $15, our people will get technical or trade knowledge to be self-sufficient and economically empowered. Our district have many vulnerable young people. They have even our mothers, also even elderly folks who do not have the capacity to make ends meet for themselves. We are providing that opportunity. Okay. Aside from that, we have a little over 25 young children's school fees that we are paying in schools that are in the district. Verifiable institutions. St. Samuel, that is a school in the community. Zina Christian Academy, Tracom, C.W. Duncan, Christ Foundation Preparatory Schools. So we, in our weak way, are providing an opportunity for people to get empowered, contributing towards the human development of the district. So this is why our people, everywhere we go, the mothers are trooping, the young people are trooping, say this is about time.
So you think that's the basis for which you should be elected in District 14?
I am campaigning to be elected in District 14 because I am, if not,
we say those are your tangibles?
Yeah, these are tangibles, of course. Engagement into other community service activities. Just Sunday, my special assistant, Victor Ware, who is the youth chairman of the Freeport community, and some other young people who are involved into repairing a footpath, plank bridge in the area. So there are many other things. The real thing is I have what it takes to carry on better representation. I have what it takes to carry on better lawmaking. I have what it takes to carry on better oversight. More to that, I am a representation of true inhabitants of the district. That is, young people see themselves through me.
Emmanuel.
The mothers see their son or their children through me. The fathers do the same. So on the overall, everywhere. We were in Claratown Market the other day. The mothers are coming there. In fact, they are volunteering, calling out to their various communities and CBOs.
Emmanuel, the district you want to represent is a very densely populated district. And that district has a huge number of young people, like you mentioned earlier on. Let's know from you specifically, what are you hearing from the people generally? What are those issues they are confronted with?
The general issues that the people are confronted with are enormous. But basically, the very first thing that the district and everyone has acknowledged that the district is lacking is leadership.
Leadership.
So with leadership, every other thing can encompass that to be very smooth.
Anthony, I'm still concerned. You keep talking about leadership, lack of.
For 12 years, the monument of dormancy we have of Capitol Hill have provided no legislative report.
I'm still finding it difficult to.
Under his administration.
For 12 years.
Under his administration.
No legislative report.
Under his administration, Emmanuel.
Before
the Claratown Dual Community Rule that have been very, very bad over the years was constructed by this.
Well, through his influence, zero influence. President Weah did that as his signature project.
You should not take credit for that?
And President Weah did that as his signature project because he has a root from District 14.
Today,
wait, let me give you a reference point to tell you that this lawmaker has zero understanding. On the day of the groundbreaking of that road project, the lawmaker was pepper sprayed by citizens of the district because they said he did nothing to intervene in his first 6 years. Now that the citizens themselves have reminded President Weah that this is where he here for, and President Weah heeded to that. The day that they let peace be to his ashes, Mabutu Vla Yimpa and others went to do breaking of grounds that the lawmaker was pepper spray. I am saying to you, the citizens, everybody, people, the lawmaker by himself does not think that the people of district number 14 are the one who elected. He said it is his money. I have a video here where he went into somewhere in Lokentown in this. He sent his PRO from his office or Lokentown in District 15, telling the people, going to truck people there. The video is there. You can see the man, his PRO from his office saying, the lawmaker say, he begging you, please go.
Is that a recent video?
Recent video. Recent video.
Let me see the video, please.
Recent video.
We want to see just share that video with me, Emmanuel. Just share the video with me.
Okay, I'm sharing the video.
Yeah. So why you share the video? Before the election of President George Weah in 2017, Representative Vamoya Konen was representative of that district. We gather that the representative provided, under the administration of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, provided some 10,000 United States dollars for the reconditioning and pavement of that road. Though it should be an executive branch of government issue, but he provided 10,000 according to information to buttress the executive effort in doing such. Today, you still say he made no impact. Now that his own government was seated, don't you think he was also involved and don't think to come out?
But why was someone who did not make an impact?
No, but you know why you are doing
elected?
You know, Anthony, from what you just said, you know what you just did? You exposed the lawmaker on his lack of understanding of his own function and responsibility.
How?
He was co-chair and at one time chairperson on Public Works Committee. The legislature does appropriation and enactment of the national budget. A serious lawmaker who understands his function will ensure that there is an appropriation for the construction of that road and will not go and take 10,000. Why 10,000? 10,000 cannot even pave. It cannot even pave the road from Broad and Buchanan Street to Buchanan Street AGM. So is that something that you want to come and reference? They just expose the lawmaker's lack of understanding of his function and responsibility. Any lawmaker who understands his or her function and responsibility will not get involved into giving money to the executive to undertake project when he is the one who should be ensuring that appropriations and allotments are made in the interest of the people.
And when allotments are made, and when those allotments are not enough to carry out those projects, and you are being affected directly by the project, would you not, Emmanuel? When you sit in that seat, and the legislature appropriate for your project, and the money appropriated cannot solve that problem. When you sit in that position, will you not?
And so you bring us back to his lack of ability to lobby, so that the budget is a law, right? So I mean, he lacking lawmaking function. So oversight, he lacking oversight to show that whatever that is appropriated for whatever thing is done. He lacking representation because he has not spoken a single time up Capitol Hill. So the District 14 is not represented. Anybody who is represented and you are personally affected by issues from your people in your district, you will be a robust lawmaker to ensure that the proper representation is made so that the laws can be enacted and you perform your oversight responsibility to ensure that they are implemented.
You are a young man who wants to be a lawmaker. You want to represent an entire district in Masarauta County. There is this general perception that young people who want to, move at the national level, especially at the legislature, when they are elected, they just turn their backs. Will you be one of those?
No, but I don't know whether you are speaking from insinuation or inference. Or
it's a general perception.
No, so
that if young people are elected,
then I also tell you that some of the best performing lawmakers in Liberian history have been young people. I'll come to some current lawmakers.
For instance, you guys are too young.
So what your definition of young? The late Eugene Falakpaka, peace be to his ashes, he was elected at age 30. Twice. The next time he was elected was at age 36. Peace be to her ashes. The late Muna Pedon Youngblood, she was firstly elected at age 28. A colleague of mine who we all graduated from the University of Liberia back in 2015, James Collier, is a serious performing lawmaker up Capitol Hill. The man who is poised to be senator of Bon County, Edward Kafia, was elected in his 30s. Even another man who has gotten elected 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. He's born 1970. So in 2005, when he was elected, he was 35 years old. Edwin Melvin Snow. He has been elected over 4 times now. By the end of 2029, he will be completing 24 years in the legislature.
Those people you name have been consistent in terms of their advocacy and representation at that level.
Prince Kemo Moi was elected in his 30s. So for me, so the very first thing, then you check my track record or service history.
Okay.
So I was imagine I'm this young. In 2017, I was very young. I declared less than 10 months to the election. I came forth. So it tells you if I had the financial capacity or I would have declared earlier, the election would have been different for AVC. And I didn't run a cross-cutting campaign of varying political parties and all of that. I am a young man with tangible service record. I say I have over 5 years of professional, over 10 years of professional experience. The first thing I bring to the table is integrity.
Okay.
10 years in financial service.
Trusted.
5 years. 5 of those years have been in full screen or mainstream banking. I work with the United Bank for Africa Liberia Limited. I rose from bullion officer, bulk teller, life teller, head of cash to branch operations manager at a very young age. I honorably resigned on June 7th of 2022. 0 investigation, 1 day of financial misappropriation. At the level of the University of Liberia, we provided leadership there. At the level of the Economic Student Association, the 96 graduating class, or even when we were Secretary General of the Liberty Party National Youth Congress.
Okay.
So we have a traceable, positive, impactful service.
Let's come to your campaign now, Emmanuel. Let's come to your campaign. The tax you want to undertake is cost intensive as well. Sorry. You are a financial person. According to you, you campaign with little finance. Before, you did not cut across the entire district because you did not have the financial capability to do so. How prepared are you now financially?
The election, and I say to you, the people in District 14, everywhere I go, they send one message. They want change and they want their own. So they say, even if you do not give us money, we will vote for you. I do community engagement every day with the exception of Mondays and Wednesdays, where I go to graduate school. All of this engagement on a daily basis, I give people. I do not have money to give people. The young people that support me are not people that if it is only on the basis of money, then they will not even be supporting me. The mothers, we have a page called the Bounce Movement. Go and check it. There are avalanche of activities going on every day. I even share a video on my personal page wherein some mothers from a community called Abuja community, Jonah Allen community, they just heard that we were passing along the road. And the community cheerleader and several other women, they came running, seeking support that even with our money, they are going to support us. So in as much as everything requires resources, but the clear perception of the interest of the people in District 14 now is not about giving them money.
In other words, they are willing to support you.
Of course.
So more like you are like George, we are 2005, 2011.
And maybe I could say
when people were printing their own t-shirts.
All of that, with or without t-shirt. In fact, I am the only aspiring individual who has not printed a single t-shirt since. But to go into the district, go and do opinion poll.
What was your allegation again? You said what?
I said the lawmaker was involved into voters trucking. He went to
no. You talk about he been pepper spray. Somebody going to appeal on his behalf.
Well, no, the video I sent you is not the one. It was where his office staff, the public relations officer for his office, was into the Seontan community.
Okay.
Seontan is now in District 14.
Right.
That place is District 15. He went there to talk to people to come and register in District 14. Play the video. You go, he said, even in District 15, he cannot even sponsor vigilante group for people. But he said, the lawmaker, your cry for about vigilante, you know why it takes for people to have sleepless night. But he asking you to please remember him. You cannot come to campaign in District 14 that you claim to represent. You should go to another district.
Let's talk about your party, Emmanuel, the Liberty Party, where you come from. Do you have the support of the party as we speak?
I am the only candidate from Liberty Party. But here is it. We will either have a collaboration to contest on a collaborating political party ticket, and a party that will be not only restricted to the Liberty Party, or we will be an independent candidate.
Which of the faction do you
of the Liberty Party?
I belong to the Liberty Party.
Which faction?
I belong to the Liberty Party that
Kanga faction and that of
I belong to the Liberty Party faction that
you have to be clear.
So let me answer now.
You have to be clear, Emmanuel.
But the Liberty Party, there is only one Liberty Party with Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence as the political leader and Musa Hassan Berete as the national chairman.
One is with the ANC Communist ANC CPP, and one is with former Vice President Joseph Boakai.
I am with the Liberty Party.
So the Liberty Party has been in court on who is the legitimate this person and that person. We were being told. There is information that Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence was expelled.
No, that is a mirage. That is a mirage.
Including all executives.
That is a mirage.
By Musa Berete.
That is a mirage. Senator Lawrence remains.
So it means
no,
that with
I foresee you going as an independent candidate.
But you see, that is even the cry of the people from District 14 that we should contest independent.
Okay.
Yeah, but besides that, I am also saying that there are talks with other political. There are talks with other political parties.
Divided.
Yeah, but I am not denying the fact that the Liberty Party is divided. But I am not from a divided faction of Liberty Party.
But how do you reconcile that?
I am from the Liberty Party that recognizes Senator Lawrence as our political leader.
Thank you.
And Musa Berete is still the chairman. Musa Berete chairmanship is not in the
So
we are working with other political parties. There are. For instance, there are some other political parties, or most likely, for instance, we have a request from the Unity Party to contest on their ticket.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are many other political parties that are engaged, but our focus is the people of District number 14.
Okay.
But I am telling you, I am from a Liberty Party that recognizes Senator Lawrence as our political leader, and Musa Berete is the political party chairman. So the party is in court, not on a dispute of leadership. It is on the basis of constitutional manipulation.
Okay.
Emmanuel Barnes is an aspirant of District 14, Mosorado County.
A very young, enterprising gentleman.
Emmanuel
I
Barnes
love his expose.
is a former quizzer.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
He is an intellectual.
From St. Mary. So you hear him talking, you will not get tired. We have to go to the lines. 0777 105 100 0555 105 100. Those are the numbers you can call. Maybe you out there, you want to.
Anthony, as we anticipate the calls, let me ask you this final question, Emmanuel. If you are fortunate,
I'm going to be elected. Start putting supposition.
Probably give me chance.
Let's go to the lines. The lines are
if you are fortunate to win the election in District 14, which committee would you like to serve on at the legislature?
Normally, people are giving committee.
Even though you are a finance person,
people are giving committee as per their profession and their CV or resume to present. So the first committee, will be always Minister of Finance.
Okay.
Then I'm a student of international relations, so foreign affairs, and I'm a young man who has a long service record, so youth exposed, meaning focus on the empowerment of young people. Then there are others, commerce.
Maybe they could give you banking and finance.
Yeah, let's take the calls.
Let's go to the lines to pick few calls quickly. Hello.
Good evening.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where you call from?
Thanks a million. Good afternoon, Theo Williams, and good afternoon to JIFFAN. Good afternoon, Bam. Michael Gotomo is my name.
Go ahead, Michael.
And I join you from my District 14 resident.
All right, District 14.
Yeah, listen to your guest. He spoke excellently. This is time for us as a constituent to retire people who will not even raise their hand in session. Some of you guys are journalists. You assigned a couple of buildings. Your seats because are functioning at this time. They are functioning too.
What may I witness now?
Yeah. The book came out with report.
Do you support Emmanuel Barnes? Do you support Barnes?
I'm a young man. I support ideological ideas.
That's my question. Do you support Barnes or not?
Young man like Barnes can take my support.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
What's your name? Where you joining us from?
I'm Christopher Deputy Daniel from District 14, to be precise.
Go ahead.
Let me say thanks to our leader and our mentor in presence of the incoming lawmakers. I listened to him in sport lengthily. There is nowhere ABC can go now in show face. Come October 10, 2023 of this year, Honorable Emmanuel K. Barnes will be the next lawmaker of the district.
I mean, for now, I'm more with talking.
Yeah.
More.
All right, thank you. When we reach the bridge now, you'll start taking your small money.
The ball, Monkey Tron follow Monkey, Babon Tron follow Babu.
What's your name? What's your name? Where you come from?
Joseph Larry, we said I do call from District 14.
Go ahead.
I would like to commend Barnes for his brilliant articulation. All of the arguments are well tailored. They're on the right trajectory. Over the past time, people have been maneuvering their way to. Hello?
Go ahead. You're live.
Hello?
Go ahead. Barnes is listening.
Over the past time, people have been maneuvering their way through the importation of electric. I think they had to come down seriously on the importation because for the fact that somebody import 5,000 or 6,000 in a district, and depending on where and get something 4,000 in a district, for not might win. So many of the time, importer voters are then deciding the fate of the people in the district.
So when you see the people importing your report on neck, that's a problem. Thank you.
That have been done on several occasions.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Good
What's
afternoon.
Your name? Where you call from? Hello.
This line 2 is terrible.
Hello. Well,
maybe you need to shift.
Hello. Can
just
you change
take
your
1 or 2
position?
steps from your current position. This line 2 is terrible, Anthony.
Yes, go ahead. Well,
the line is terrible. Just change your position and call us back if you can. Let's take another caller. Caller, good evening. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. You're live on the Hard Talk.
A pleasant good evening to you. This is the voice of Jeremiah Tige Cooper. and I called from a resident in Steven Double Estate. A pleasant good evening to the intellectual paragon who is in studio with you this evening.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Cooper. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Firstly, I mean, thanks the intellectual for the courage boost of which he came into the race. If we are in our district, one of his full soldiers, we read the message for him.
Okay.
Let me say thank you. I have one question for him. So, I mean, icing.
Go ahead.
As the icing about the issue of fundraising, he said election is not about fundraising, but he mentioned then 2017 he was now up to the task as it relates to the issue of fundraising. So I want to know what he has done now that he never did before that drew the people attention to him. So kindly let me listen to him.
Thank you. Sis here after. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, JIFFAN. How you doing?
Welcome.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks for joining
Ambassador.
This is KBC Radio Ambassador.
Yeah, go ahead, Ambassador.
I'm well popular now at CY Sessions in calling from my local town. Yeah. Veteran, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much. JIFFAN, if you came a veteran thing, I think we see the whole children. Even mine, you will see the show from Igbo. Because I know him very well. He one of the captors I was seeing the captain class at the university. But still, let me go to the issue. I think you got to come a number to my brother. Because I just registering my taking my voting card.
Go to the issue. We don't have the luxury of time, please.
Yeah, the one thing I'll tell you that I get my number to you. Thank you very much.
From District 14.
Thank you.
I mean, District 14. I get my number to you.
All right.
Thank you. Why you want to campaign for the man?
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name? Where you call from?
My name is Frank Bama Kazulo, and I do join you from the District 14 at this time.
Go ahead. Let's hear you. Emmanuel Bounce is here.
Well, he slipped off the line. 0777 105 1000 555.
And interestingly, the folks of District 14 are actually calling.
Zero
So
are the
it means
numbers.
they are following.
Let's hear from you.
I hope Mr. Conan could just call us, the current lawmaker.
The man who can even talk in session that he will call.
I hope you must have the courage to do that.
To say
Anyway.
what so they even boycotted legislative Kennedy debate in
Hold on, we'll come back to you, Emmanuel. Let's take the calls. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Sanya M. Kufana calling from district number 40 to be precise.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah,
One of your own is here, Bounce.
let me give the send appreciation to the lawmaker who was Honorable Amanda, Honorable for power from October 10th.
Thank you.
About the power.
Thank you.
Hey, leave the noise. Walk away from the noise and put through your points. You can be in the noise. I mean, the essence of communication is to be understood. You're in the noise and you're calling us. How do you expect us to understand what you're saying? Yeah, my man, I want to make a phone common sense.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name? From where you call?
Yeah, this is Amos Johnson calling from District 14.
Go ahead.
Yeah. For now, District 14, we need our young leaders who will be able to carry the news all around. Not into us. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a supporter of the honorable lawmaker to be Emmanuel Ban.
Okay.
Nobody shake your hand. You say you're talking. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name? From where you call?
My name is Thomas Kovato. I'm calling from District 9 to be exact, Pontitan Junction.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Let me say hi to your studio guest, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, this is Thomas. We worked together before at UBA. I serve as security head. Let me say thanks to you for your bold steps. But my advice to you, Emmanuel, I say you have to be careful because you're going against a big hand.
You say you work as security head at UBA?
Yeah.
How well do you know Barnes? How well do you know Emmanuel Barnes?
I know Barnes good. Barnes worked with you. We worked with UBA before.
He's a good man.
In the cash department. From there, and then he got promoted as a branch manager. And then at that time, I was already out.
Yeah, so he's a good man, right? He's a good man.
Yeah, he's a good friend. I know him. He's a good friend. Very quiet. Very quiet and good.
Okay. But maybe the major driver someone to say hello.
Hello.
What's your name? Where you come from?
Thank you. My name is Kasimo Kere, and I do join you from Barcelona Do Committee in one of the banner district in the Republic of Liberia, district number 14.
Go ahead. When election comes, you say a banner. Then already you're going to make decision. I can ban your move.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Let me appreciate the incoming representative in leader, mentor, and teacher Emmanuel K. Ban for a skilled deliberation on issues related to why he should be elected and what makes him think he is the best candidate suited within District of 14. I think right now, what Abraham Samuel Collins is doing that now, I expect him to withdraw his intention for contesting in the upcoming election. Because over the period of 12 years, AVC has failed. Massively AVC has failed. Nothing AVC can show in the entire District of 14 to the people of District of 14 what he has done and what he has been doing over the period of time that the people of District of 14 should vote for him. And let me say the period of time, people in District of 14, they have not been voting for Abraham Samuel Collins. Those people that have been voting for Abraham Samuel Collins, these are people from outside of the district. They have been making decisions. But this time around, our eyes are open and we are prepared to make sure that Abraham Samuel Collins will not get back. We are very clear about this. Okay. And the only party that can unseat Abraham Samuel Collins in District of 14 is no other party is Honorable Emmanuel K. Ban, who happen to be the committee. Thank you very much.
Too many commendations coming this afternoon for Bounce.
Pauline, we are near for stay there.
Come on.
I think she came second.
The coordinator of the Alternative National Congress, the party from which Pauline we are from, is a member of my campaign team. So don't waste my time.
But Emmanuel, you think all the people members are
holding strategic.
So it just that we didn't go for election for formality.
I am saying the good thing about it is that we are all young people who will remain engaged. When the election result for October 10th, 2023, or district number 14 is announced, Emmanuel K. Barnes will be the winner.
You sound so optimistic.
I am optimistic because of the engagement that we have with the people.
Let's pick the final person, then we'll go back to Emmanuel. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, this is Thomas calling again. I think I have a problem with the line. You are not getting me.
Okay, go ahead quickly.
Thomas from UBA?
Yeah, from UBA.
No, you know how problem you were clear.
Anyway,
I was clear, right? Because I saw. All right, thank you. No problem.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
So I was saying, for us, there was a question asked on finance. The point is, the reason I am not saying that I've come to this election and zero-handed. That is without knowing that. Even if I am not giving money to people to vote, I'm aware that to print campaign paraphernalia, it will require resources.
Of course.
Economically, I'm far ahead of where I was in 2017.
Okay,
that's the first thing. Now. The second message I was sending was one. There was no message or tangible something to reference to for which I should have been elected in 2017.
Okay.
I was basically just running on youthful exuberance and that we can talk this and that. But I am going to an election wherein before October 10th, I will have impacted over 2,000 people in District 14, making them economically empowered by giving them trade knowledge. By October of 2023, many persons who have been promoted to the next class, young children, because of our support to them by paying their tuition and fees.
Okay.
We are saying to you, we are taking the message of change. The first thing we have a certificate in campaign messaging strategies and plan.
Okay.
So all of these things have added onto us, and this is why you open a line. You didn't give me special number here for me to send to people to call for them to support me. There were people who called who did not even know that I was on the radio, or maybe because my public relations team shared a message in the various chat rooms in the district, so they got to know. I even posted on my personal page. I am telling you, I am not oblivious to the fact that not everybody in District 14 will support me. But I am telling you that the majority vote that will be cast on October 10th will come the way of Emmanuel K. Barnes. Because I have citizens who are supporting me.
Okay.
I have Alternative National Congress people who are supporting me. I have Unity Party people who support me. I have people from varying political persuasions and even independent people who support me. And right now, I can tell you simply, anybody who is coming to argue that you should not vote for Emmanuel K. Barnes, what will be their reliance?
Let's see how that plays out in the final analysis.
They will not tell you that Barnes is incomplete.
But one final question for you. Why, in case Mr. Corner wakes up one morning and say, hey, maybe place a phone call to you or probably walk to you and say, hey, Barnes, you are my son. I want you to just forgo this thing.
And let me for one scholarship.
So, will you accept?
You go for your PhD.
You know, I just laugh. Because the reason I'm laughing, I just laugh. But I just laugh. Back in 2017, that personally I didn't even have up to $5,000 in my account. I was offered $10,000 by the lawmaker to withdraw from the race. I didn't withdraw from the race in 2017. At the time that I wasn't politically prepared, I didn't withdraw from it. Do I look like I can be bored? I told you I'm a young man of integrity. Money can't buy me. I have seen money. I have touched money. I know it's not both.
Not your personal money, though. All the money is on the bank.
No, aside from that, I have held personal money.
Okay.
If you are checking economically stable young people, if it is only about just forgetting about politics and not wanting to get involved in anybody, just live people in Liberian terms, people like I'll be okay. I ride a car cost $6,000. I Chevrolet Malibu 2012. Person a young man, I buy for myself. I'm working and making appreciable sum of dollars that can sustain me and my family. But the general interest of the people of district number 14 is paramount. We cannot be into politics. Then we sit back and allow our district to continuously be anonymous. This is time District 14 should be redeemed. And Emmanuel K. Barnes is that redemption hero.
Thank you. Consider that as a closing comment as well. Thank you very kindly.
One time scholar of Samaritans. I remember.
The man's an intellectual. Yeah.
So thank you. It was nice being on your platform.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to some of these invitations on many more occasions. Sometimes I wish you could even make it more of a debate. Bring some of those people who are aspiring. Let's come and cross-cut ideas and see who are better acceptable to the people.
Thank you. Emmanuel Barnes, it's District 14 representative aspirant. He's been our guest on the first segment of the Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. It's been a mouth-watering engagement. Thank you for coming. Let's take a musical brief out, folks. This is Princess Fatou Gavla, 1986, Bekia Kone. Liberian traditional music. Why are you laughing, Anthony? I told you don't play with my traditional songs this year. I told you. Okay. Princess Fatu Gavela, Bekia Kone, 1984. Good evening to Deputy Presidential Press Secretary Smith Toby. Love the song so very dearly. Good evening to you, Smith. Let's be doing great. It's a wonderful Wednesday evening and having a wonderful time. Perhaps listening to ABC Radio 105.1, the official voice of Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation. Congratulations to all of you who are celebrating special occasions on today, be it birthday, be it wedding anniversary, be it whatever, graduation, whatever. Congratulations. Wish for you God's blessings as you celebrate on today. And a pre-birthday for my dear mother, Gina Williams. You'll be celebrating on the 8th of April. Congratulations. And a pre-one for my partner as well. Anthony will be celebrating on the 12th of April. Also, your birthday is historical.
Also for Denise Nipson.
Yeah, Denise Nipson, head of programs. The 7th of April.
Yeah,
right?
the two of them celebrating
Yeah,
on the 7th.
7th of April. Congratulations to all of you in advance as you gear up to celebrate your birthday on those dates. Well,
too many resignations are coming out to you since the president, the president declared through an executive order mandating all presidential appointees seeking elected offices to resign on or before April 7. Since then, some of them have been crying. They've been dwelling in tears because they thought that being there and not leaving, they want to remain there and contest. But few hours ago, beginning yesterday, there have been series of resignations. The development superintendent of Grand Jida County, Madam Betty Daw resigned. We also been told that the city mayor of Harper City, Maryland County, resigned. A commissioner also in Maryland County resigned. We are just receiving communication also for Madam Barbara Kier. Madam Barbara Kier is the assistant superintendent for development, also Sano County. She has also resigned. And so it clearly says that even though
the order is working, right?
Yeah, the order is working, even though they did not agree to want to say maybe because the president did not institute the office of the ombudsman, so they did not respect the code of conduct, because the code of conduct did not say 8 months, 10 months, 5 months. Yes, they say you should resign year or years before. So they stay in their position and until the president. So they respected the president more than the law.
Yeah, resigning at the 11th hour.
Yeah, but how be it? They resigned, like the lady from Grand Judet. She said when the president made when the president issued that order, when I heard it, I felt bad.
Oh, what did I do? What?
Oh God! Yeah, I listened to her too. I was like,
really?
Yes, I edited the voice. I listened to her laugh. I said, Jefferson did the clip. I thought to listen to it.
Okay.
Said, my honey, I felt bad, but yeah, I have to resign. so yeah, yes.
Yeah, the law is the law.
I'm told she contested under in
the
2017. She was defeated by Ellis Grant.
Yeah, Grant.
Now that Grant is going up, we've been told that Grant is going up for the senatorial seat.
All right, he wants to ascend.
Yes, so she is also stepping in the space of Grant, and from our own.
That is if she's elected.
Yes, she is trying to do so.
All right.
From our own interactions with people from across Grand Judet, particularly the district she's going to, we are told that she, to some extent, deeply rooted in that area, and she has some connection. I think she came second to Graham at the time. And so Graham leaving, she has seen that as maybe the way he living, he was the one who gave me hard time. And she said in your clip, and that's one thing that we have not looked at. She said the entire Southeast, we don't have a female lawmaker.
Mm-hmm.
That was when she said it. I tried to calculate, to look among them. I could not find one.
Oh.
I could not find one. Do you go to River says no? Okay, River says yeah. River says
Rosanna Shack is there.
No,
Rosanna Shack.
River says it's not part of the southeastern counties anyway.
Yeah.
We have Sano,
Grand Crew,
Maryland, River G. Yes. So Sano, no one. Maryland, no one. River G, no. Grand Crew, no. And Grand G there, no. They are all males. So she said, I'm going there to be a representation of our women from this side.
Of course.
Though that alone could not be a factor for election, because if you are a woman, you must do what is required, what the people want you to do. You must carry the characteristic of a good leader to be elected, not just because you are a woman, so you should get elected. No, nobody gets elected because they are found or they have certain characteristics, but you must possess leadership traits.
Ability,
I think those are the basic on which people are elected. So she said. But it's good that they adhere to the president and they are doing what they should be doing.
Yes, on a much more serious note, Anthony, for one, believe in women participation at all levels.
Yeah, of course.
And at the Farmington Declaration yesterday, one or two persons expressed the need for more women participation at all levels, whether at the national level, local level, and all like that. There was a need, the need was stressed for more women to occupy public offices, as a means of providing them equal opportunity to contribute their quota to the growth and development of the country as well. So I, for one, in general, believe in women participation.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. So all of those female aspirants all over the country, wish you well. We hope that you will just emerge victorious. It's a serious challenge. It's some areas the race is tough, honestly.
Of course,
yes. Some areas the race is tough.
Yes.
Like one day we hosted a female candidate in district. Is it district? Chicharito from where?
Yeah, District 5.
District 5. Yeah. Princess Rose was here. We talked about her ambition. We talked about her chances of becoming the next lawmaker in District 5. It was a wonderful conversation. So we want to see more women ascend to public offices.
Right.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. Go at the days where women were marginalized. They did not have the opportunity to showcase what they are made of. Yes. So, we support women participation.
So you're listening to the Hard Talk. Very shortly, we will have in our studio Dr. Jeremiah Wapo. Dr. Wapo is the political leader of the Vision for Liberia Transformation. Vote for short. He will be here. We are going to talk about the Farmington Declaration on yesterday.
Yeah, couple of other national issues.
Beyond that, we're also going to look at his take on the biometric voter registration process. Couple with other critical national issues that are pertinent to the redemption or the stability of Liberia.
Yes, great, Anthony. So it's 19 minutes past 5 o'clock as we anticipate the arrival of Dr. Wapo, who could just talk more about this Farmington Declaration, which is cardinal to our peace and stability as we approach the election, Anthony. And so on yesterday, it was a whole house full with both local and international partners who graced the occasion on yesterday. And top on the agenda yesterday was peace, peace, and peace. Every individual that mounted the podium on yesterday highlighted the need to maintain the peace and stability of this country. Because I tell you what, peace is a factor that we all need to do whatever we want to do. In the absence of peace, I wouldn't be sitting here on this radio broadcasting to you. You wouldn't be sitting where you are at the moment and doing what you are doing. So the peace of this country is upon all of our shoulders. We have a huge responsibility to ensure that we maintain the peace we all enjoy today. Somebody said to me, to you, it's better to have peace than to have everything and no peace. Then you running here, there, and yonder. It's better to remain poor and have peace instead of being rich, having all of the wealth you can talk about or think about, and then you don't have peace. So peace should be atop our agenda in all that we do. And there was a caveat. There was a plea. Let me use the word plead. There was a plea to all political leaders who were at that signing ceremony on yesterday. All of the leaders who were at the signing ceremony on yesterday were encouraged to uphold the peace we all enjoy in this country. They were cautioned, or they were encouraged to caution their supporters not to engage into violence as we approach these elections in our country. We are approaching a very critical period in our country. And the peace of this country lies on the shoulders of all of us. Whether you're a private citizen, whether you are a politician, whether you are a journalist, no matter who you are, where you're from, regardless of your affiliation politically, regardless of your religion, all of us have a responsibility. And that responsibility is to preach the message of peace in every quarters, every nooks and crannies of our society. We have that responsibility to ensure that we preach the message of peace, because in the absence of peace, nothing is possible. In the absence of peace, there will be no growth and development for us as a country. I mean, nothing will happen. Absolutely nothing will happen in a country where there is no peace. Nobody wants to go where there is no peace. Investors will go somewhere where they think they can invest their money and get results, instead of going somewhere where they will have no peace. So all of us have that responsibility. It is upon all of us to ensure that we preach the message of peace in our very corners. We as journalists were also cautioned. We're cautioned to report the facts. Report the facts, not to disinform the entire population as we approach these critical period in our country. We were cautioned to be objective, balanced, and credible. So that means we have our own role to play, and that is squarely our role. We are on an obligation to inform the entire population, to inform the entire country. So when we sit at our respective institutions, media institutions, we sit behind the microphone. We have one responsibility. That responsibility is to ensure that we report the facts. We report things that will promote peace and not those things that will undermine the peace and stability of our country. One of the key things somebody stressed at that Sunday ceremony on yesterday was the issue of hate messages, hate speech. We all know the history of Rwanda. Because of hate speech, hate messages, that entire country went into war, senseless war. Thousands of lives were lost as a result of hate messages, hate speeches, and all like that. And so we were reminded as media practitioners to play our role very well. The PEL and all other institutions in this country that are responsible to regulate the affairs of journalism in this country, or media institutions, were also cautioned to do their jobs. And so it is important, folks, that all of us maintain the peace. Somebody explained their story at age 3, what they encountered during the civil conflict of our country, during the heydays of our country. You wouldn't want to hear that story. All of us have our own story about the heydays of this country. I know what I went through as a young man growing up. I know what I went through. You know exactly what you went through as well. And so, based on all of those experiences we had, let us not revert to the dark days. And those politicians who are bent on making hate speeches, who are bent on inciting their supporters to go on the rampage, to disturb the peace, were also cautioned at that Sunday ceremony on yesterday. They were cautioned not to incite their supporters, regardless of whatever. They were cautioned not to incite their supporters, but rather preach the message of peace. Tell their supporters to always remain calm when there are issues. And the best way to resolve whatever issues you have is to seek some legal means. We have laws here. We have a whole system here. We have the justice system. It's good to sometimes test the system. You never know what happens. And so all of us were cautioned. Civil society activists or actors, political leaders, all of the politicians, journalists, Liberians in general were cautioned not to take the laws into their hands, not to incite or instigate violence as we approach this critical period in our country history. Election is not a small thing. So all sides of the divide has something to take away on yesterday from that Farmington River declaration that was held yesterday. And I sat there and listened to all of those who spoke. I listened to the folks from ECOWAS, the UN representative in Liberia, and all they said at that ceremony was peace. They challenged all of us, the government, the politicians, Liberians, to maintain the peace. Let us prove to the world that we are mature. Our democracy is mature and is at certain level. Somebody said all eyes will be on Liberia, or all eyes are currently on Liberia as we approach the election in our country. And so it is important that all of us do those things that are required in order to maintain the peace we all enjoy today. In the absence of peace, we cannot accomplish our aims and objectives as a country. Nothing will be done. Absolutely nothing will be done. Once you don't have peace, trust me, development will not come. All of the things we're seeing today, infrastructures and all like that, we will not see them. They will be destroyed. You were here during the heydays of our country. People destroy public facilities senselessly. People destroy public facilities. Imagine, people were shooting at light poles. No living thing. People were shooting at light poles. Public buildings. Destroying public facilities. So that is to tell you that we fought a senseless war in this country. We wasted our time. Look at Liberia. We are 170 something years of age as a country. What can we point to? What can we point to? What can we boast of in the sub-region? Least to talk about the war over. So folks, war is not the answer. Peace is the answer. Peace should be the hallmark of the day. Peace first, peace last, peace in all that we do. Election is coming. There will be heated political debates all across the country. There will be violence all across the country. So it's up to those political leaders who have fixed their signatures to that document to ensure that they control their supporters. They talk to their supporters. Because if anything goes wrong, all of them will bear the responsibility. They will pay for it. And that was the essence of signing that declaration yesterday at Farmington. That was the essence of that gathering on yesterday at Farmington. Political leaders will take responsibilities of things that will happen in this country. So those who are bent on inciting their supporters, those who are making comments that will have the propensity to derail the peace we enjoy today, you have to be warned. You have to think again. You have to think again. Some of you will sit in your comfort and incite people. You are out of the country, you will incite people. You sit wherever you are, incite people to take to the streets, to protest. Don't get me wrong, we have the right to protest. We have the right to gather peacefully and call our government to order if there's a need. We have that right constitutionally. But the thing is, how do we go about doing it? Liberians, let us not take laws into our hands. This country belongs to all of us. This country belongs to all of us. We are all Liberians, regardless of our political alignment, regardless of our tribe and religion. Liberia is for all Liberians. And so, all of the speakers on yesterday at Farmington said it right. Everyone talked about peace. Peace, the maintenance of the peace and stability we enjoyed. The over 20 years of peace, uninterrupted peace. I could be sitting here. I mean, I have nothing, but the fact that I have peace, I'm not hearing the sound of guns, bullets are not flying all over the place. We're not moving from one point to the other in search of food and other things. I think it will be better than sit in my little corner and hustle instead of going to war, instead of getting involved deeply with violence. And so all of us, Liberians, have a role to play. I just define the role. The politicians will have their own role. We as journalists will have our own role to play. We sit behind the microphones. We sit on the radio. We are on an obligation to educate the public. We are on an obligation, to inform the public, to report the facts, not to misinform or disinform the public, not to say those things that will endanger the peace we all enjoy today. The radio is a powerful tool, especially during electioneering periods. Politicians will come and use us, use this medium to spread their messages, to spread hate messages, to incite violence. Let us not subject ourselves as journalists to these things in our country. No. Let us not do so. Because an attempt to do so, you will jeopardize the peace we all enjoy today. And so, everyone had a takeaway on yesterday. The journalists, the politicians, the civil society actors, everyone. Our partners are watching. They are watching. And they will tell you in your faces and say, hey, we said this thing. All of them who mounted the podium, the folks from ECOWAS, the EU, the United Nations, they said it on yesterday that the peace of this country is in our hands. They are watching. The war is watching. They want to see how Liberians will exhibit that high degree of maturity. They want to see how mature, again, is our democracy. We had the first peaceful transition of power. It was unique. Liberia was hailed for that. There were commendations coming from all over the world because the country peacefully transitioned after decades. That was a good sign. So I think we should continue to tread on that path as a country and a people. Let us not allow this election divide us. Let us not allow politicians divide us. Let us be reminded as Liberians not to revert to the heydays or our dark days. Go on those days. We felt the pinch of the civil unrest in this country. All of us. Some of you were away, but some of us were here. We felt the pinch of the civil conflict in this country. And we don't want to have a recurrence or repeat of that. Go on those days. We went to the butchers, we took arms against ourselves, we slaughter one another innocently. Those days are gone. Go on those days where we went to the butchers, we went to Butuo, we went to Kampla and other areas, we took arms against ourselves and slaughter one another innocently. We now live in a democratic society where each of us have the right to express ourselves. And so let us use the means, the appropriate means to handle issues. It's important. It is important. I just thought to caution all of us this evening as we head to a major election in our country. The world is watching. The political actors. The world is watching. All of us have a role to play. And so a hint to the wise is quite sufficient. Having said that, let me welcome our guest. He's a little late, but as I often say, it's better late than never. And so our guest is already seated in the studio, Dr. Jeremiah Wapo. He's the political leader of the Vision for Liberia's Transformation Party. He's here in our studio. Dr. Wapo, it's a pleasure. Good to have you on the second and final lap of the Hard Talk. How are you today? It's been a while. I haven't seen you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a while. Last time I saw you guys were still up the hill.
Yeah.
Since your move, you haven't visited here.
Great. Good to have you, Dr. Wapo.
It's nice to be with you.
How has it been with you?
Terrific. We continue to grow. We're getting stronger. We just completed our convention, and we received endorsement from the most popular Nima County, endorsing our candidacy for the presidency, and we'll continue to receive endorsement from Cape Man, Bomi, Bapolo, and all of those counties around here. And we are making a leap to Lofa. We just have some serious meeting in Lofa County and establishing our base there. So we are moving stronger than you ever imagined, and we are very optimistic about the upcoming elections.
With
Before
you came in,
yeah, 1 minute. Theo.
All right, go ahead.
With the vision for Liberia Transformation Party, the future on the ballot box,
Definitely,
or the ballot paper,
definitely
for the presidential.
That's correct. That's correct. We didn't form our party to be auxiliary to any political institution. we formed a party to lead the affairs of this nation, to manage the resources of this nation, so the Liberian people who supposedly own it can be able to benefit from it, unlike what we have been seeing in the past and present times.
Okay, great. Before you came in, Dr. Wapo, I was talking about the signing of the Farmington River Declaration yesterday. I didn't see your party. I didn't see you in person. Did you send a representative?
No. First of all, I think the meeting was poorly communicated, and had I been over there, I was not going to sign.
Why?
The first thing is that that's the same thing we went through in the past election, and we were imposed with George Weah through so many fundamental fronts. In the election, you shouldn't do this. Yeah, we don't want violence, but when there's an essence of legal action, we'll take it. By us coming to some memorandum or any type of understanding does not obligate us to anything. So I'm not just going to waste my time to signing papers that will be able to promote somebody else's agenda. I don't think I should do that.
Whose agenda was it promoting, or does it intend to promote?
Well, those who engineering, that's their agenda. When Nigeria were having the election the last time, did we go there for us to obligate the opposition political parties to sign any understanding whether there will be violence? Violence that comes after election is emotion. When people are corrupt through the process, sometimes they go outraged. So why will you preempt violence in our own? We are not interested in violence, but if there should be a reason why violence should happen, we'll find ways to curtail it, but you cannot obligate us by us signing document that there will be no violence. No, I am not God, so I cannot predict the future.
But the intent of that meeting, of that declaration, it was intended to help prevent electoral violence.
What we should be doing now is to prevent possibility of fraud.
To ensure that the election is conducted free and fair as well.
Liberians are not violent people. Liberians make sure if we can put the mechanisms into play, it is not the political party that put the mechanisms into play for free and fair election. It is the government. So therefore, meeting with government for government to sign understanding is much better than calling political parties who will one way or the other be an aggrieved party to say, oh, your sign document ahead of time that you will promise that there won't be violence, they will promise that there will be free. Are we the political parties responsible to conduct free and fair election, or it is the government responsibility to make sure that the electoral process is free and fair and transparent?
And that's why you had National Election Commission there.
Yeah. So therefore, I mean, obligating political parties to be signing this thing, I don't see any significance.
NEC has committed herself through the signing of that document.
Obviously, they're supposed to.
Free, fair, and
obviously, that you see, one of the things that people just justifying corruption in this place. What was NEC put into place? They know their responsibility. That their responsibility is to make sure that the election that is conducted in the country is free and fair and transparent. So by calling people to amalgamate themselves somewhere or to congregate somewhere to sign a document, so don't they know their responsibilities? Or don't I know that I don't need violence? But violence comes when people are outraged about situations. So I, Jeremiah Wabo, I'm not in the mind of my partisans to say, okay, tomorrow don't have violence, especially so when the person feel that they are aggrieved and they have nowhere to go, especially in Liberia here, where might is justice here. So I will not sign document and commit my partisans to anything. I can't do that.
So it means that you did not agree with the declaration.
I did not agree with the declaration, but I'm interested in seeing free and fair election. I'm interested in the government obligating its themselves to conducting free, fair, and transparent election. It is the government's responsibility. It is not a political party's responsibility to go sign documents and say, oh, or tomorrow or tomorrow will not have violence when there is an inclination that the government is planning potential violence. This government has been promoting electoral fraud in this place. For example, looking at District 10, what's been going over there? They've been trucking people from one place to another just to go to District 10. When Yaka Koluba talks, then they go against it. What is that? They're where they're supposed to go and start making the peace versus obligating political parties to signing documents that they cannot envisage. We are not envisaging a violence, but if there's a way, there's a means that people will be outraged. Because when people, look, let me tell you, anger is a form of anesthesia. It's a biological anesthesia that in human body that when you are under, when you're angry, sometimes you take decisions that you don't really mean. And there's a potential that if the government continues this pattern of behavior towards the citizen, well, we cannot say, we so tomorrow they can hold us responsible. No, every citizen has its own responsibility to this nation.
I want to believe you're seeing this declaration to be in the interest of a single group of people or a particular group of people. What this declaration, the intent of the declaration, I think, is to ensure that a free, fair, and transparent election is conducted, banding government to that, and banding all political parties also to remain peaceful, because during elections there are confusions among opposing forces, and so in order to have what we call a piece of document that will hold you, Dr. Wapo,
I can sign.
If you allow your supporters to create instability, to cause problems anywhere.
How do I disallow them when I'm not to the places they are voting? How do I disallow them when I'm not in the street? How do I disallow them when they are individuals?
So you have control. A political leader should have control over the people that believe in him or her.
No, you believe me or not, nobody should put you under the illusion that you can control people when they are outraged out there. Nobody does that. I could tell anybody, oh, we don't believe in violence, don't do violence, and they believe that their votes that they put into to put Jeremiah Wapo to presidency has been misdirected. Definitely they will take an adverse action. I do not have control.
Why are you contesting, Dr. Wapo?
I am contesting to lead this country in the right direction, to manage the resources in this country so Liberian people can feel that they can once again gain dignity and be dignified, that this country is there. They can benefit from the sheer value of the resources that we have in the country that they have been denied over the years. I want to be president of this country. I want to be elected because I believe that what I have to offer this country, for example, every leader should be responsible to solve a problem. Now, one of these guys who have come to power, including President Eli Johnson, not leaving out the current government, they have not been able to solve one problem. So a leader is supposed to be a problem solver, and Jeremiah Wapo is a problem solver. This is why I'm coming in the lead to solve Liberian people's problem.
Liberia governor is not in the right direction.
Do we have one? We don't have direction before we be in the right or wrong. We don't have direction. We are all over the place doing guessing. Our president does not. He moves like a chicken without hair on his shoulder.
What do you mean?
Because he doesn't take a sound decision that will benefit the welfare of the Liberian people. He leaves Liberian people hungry and go watch football game. I will not leave my people dying from starvation. Then go watch football game. I wouldn't do that.
I don't understand when you say he leaves Liberian hungry.
When the president left this country,
how hungry is Liberia?
Liberia is hungry. It's so hungry until we have to go to our next door neighbor Sierra Leone to go beg them for bag of rice to come on our market. Liberia is so hungry when we have to go to Ivory Coast to beg for French bag of rice to come to our country so we can feed our people. Liberia is so hungry until we have to go to Sierra Leone so we can borrow oranges to come in our country so we can suck oranges. Liberia is so hungry when we cannot even afford peanuts on our market. We got to go to our neighbor Guinea to come and feed us with peanuts in this country. That's how hungry we are. We need to produce our own food.
Holistically, let's look at.
Do you agree with me?
What is wrong? What is wrong? What is missing? What do you expect from a government that you have not seen?
There are a whole lot we expect from government. What we expect from government when each government takes over their full responsibility is to protect and defend the Constitution that embeds the rights of the Liberian people. And on a daily basis, automatically the Constitution is being violated by this government from time immemorial. If you do not have a come to power, but if you can use the Constitution of Liberia as your platform, you'll be able to dispense good governance. But that's what they don't do. They always violate the Constitution. What do you expect? Nothing.
Nothing. So therefore, if you would say in Liberia is how hungry Liberia is, don't you see how hungry we are? We are 170 some more years old. And Sierra Leone, when Sierra Leone got independence, Liberia was 147 years old already. Today, Sierra Leone is producing oranges, producing juice. Where do you see one big orange farm in Liberia? Not one. Not one. Peanuts. And you name it. So all of these things, they are creating capital flight. Liberians are not employed because there's no opportunity for employment. Okay. We need to create jobs here. And the only way we create jobs, one of the industries that we can create jobs in is the agricultural industry. That we have abandoned and shipped that responsibility away to China and to Bangladesh, to India, so they can produce the food we eat. I think that's a shame. We need to produce the food we eat in this country. That industry is rich. It will do that. We want to have more Liberians not only working, but even the poor man that owns the forest, or they can be able to climb the social ladder.
Has this government made impact in any of the sector a little, if you would do your fair judgment?
No.
What do you think is better, a little bit that this government has done?
There's nothing little about it. You know why?
As the CDC government done nothing.
CDC government is a failure. Nothing. Zero. Nada. Nothing they have done.
When you say zero, then you get many minds confused.
Well, it depends on their measurement of judgment before they will get in grade. But according to my measurement of judgment, I cannot grade them. For example, the first and foremost responsibility of the president of the nation and is to protect and defend the Constitution that's embedded with the right of life, the right of housing, the right of education.
You said the government feel in respect for rule of law.
No rule of law. They don't respect rule of law. That's one.
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure. I don't see what the infrastructure is, because if you stealing millions of dollars from me, you come and put a $50,000 structure on you. I value the $50,000 more than the $1 million you have stolen. We have a running gauge of economic vampires that steals the money that's supposed to go to the poor people. And for example, people like Mangale, people like Joshua, when Joshua took over this country, you never had anything. He could not pay $150 child support in the United States. He couldn't pay that. Then now he owns yachts, he owns a multi-million-dollar buildings.
And I think that's what we or others believe, that he could not pay. There is no substantial evidence.
No, there's substantial evidence because he went to court. And he plead that the money he was making in Liberia as a Senate it was not enough to pay the amount that he went.
He could not pay $150.
Yeah, he couldn't pay.
And you also believe that,
because he said it.
You believe that George Weah then could say the money he made here. You believe that he could say that
at the time. Don't just say George Weah then, because when you say George Weah then, you'll be alluding him to the days of when you were playing soccer.
Okay.
Senator George Weah.
You believe that he could say that he could not support a child with $150?
I have no cause to say I don't believe him when he's the one that controls his account. He said in his account he could not afford that money. So who am I not to believe him? I'm not a financial to manage his account. He said he could not afford it, so I believe him.
So again, if you continue to say the CDC government has done nothing, have you not seen some of the road constructions across the country?
This is what I told you earlier. Somebody took millions of dollars from you illegally.
How much money do you know about they've taken away from Liberians?
I know about the $16 billion. I know about, listen, you asked me, right?
Don't you follow the report of the $16 billion?
I follow it. I know about the $16 billion. I know about the $25 million that Samuel said he took and carried to fictitious financial institutions so they can do a mop-up exercise into the economy that didn't work. I know about that.
Okay.
So all of those allude to their failure.
What did the report on the quote-unquote $16 billion issue says?
What they report at all of those were fictitious, because we believe in the information minister. The information minister is the spokesman for the government. I'm coming. I believe in the information minister. The information minister is the spokesman for the government. The information minister came and said that there was $16 billion missing.
Okay.
Then Samuel Twerkin said no money missing. Who should I believe? The information, the furnish, the spokesman for the government, that's the information I believe in. So $16 billion was missing.
A U.S. investigator investigated that and reported.
Okay, and reported and took a certain portion of the report. We were interested in the portion that was deleted. Why did they delete it? They were paid.
Who took a portion of the report?
Oh, the portion it was emitted in the report as the portion were taken. reason for which we're taking it was not specified to the Liberian people. Why was it? And let me tell you, US-based institution coming to give report, it doesn't mean anything. They can be hired, they can be paid. They're working for their money. They don't care how much you must kill ourselves in this country. They don't care. They work for their money.
Okay. So it means that you didn't trust them.
I didn't trust them. I trusted what then Minister Yuji Nangbe told me, that the $16 billion got missing. I believe it.
This is the Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. Though he came late, but our guest is Dr. Jeremiah Zewapo, the political leader of the Vision for Liberia Transformation, political party, contested in 2017. You want to tell me your position?
I am a standard bearer.
No, I'm talking about the position of vote in the 2017 election.
What we mean position in terms of what?
Your rank, the rank. When we talk about ranking, maybe CDC came number 1, the United Party came 2nd. What was your rank? Okay, let's leave that.
As far as I'm concerned, CDC won. Whether number 1, number 2, number 3, everybody didn't win. So I don't know about ranking.
He's aspiring to lead Liberia as a president. Yeah, say a lot about this current government, the president. He has not been able to recognize a little that the government has done in health, infrastructure, agriculture, in the economy. Someone says this government achieved in reducing inflation. Do you believe that?
What will you say government induce inflation?
Reduce inflation.
In what terms? Right now the rate is 163.
For how long was the rate?
The first year, let me tell you something.
Yes.
The first year, if you really understand how the economy works, what we have here is not reduction of inflation. You cannot reduce inflation. Number one, when you are not exporting anything out of the country to be able to trade out there in external currency to bring the commodity in, so you can trade in your own currency. You cannot reduce inflation that way. You cannot reduce inflation when they borrow money from the bank in Liberia. The interest rate is so high, ranging from 19 to 20%. You cannot reduce interest rate that way. You cannot reduce interest rate when you are not even creating jobs for the people. So how they did so-called inflation reduce? How did it reduce? It was forever on $150 per dollar. Is that reduction?
Okay. Unfortunately, we have another program just ahead. I hope before you leave from here, we'll conclude. You have to come back.
No
we have
problem.
lots to talk about. But let's see whether we can pick 1 or 2 calls quickly. Then you have the last 1 minute to close up. 777-105-100, 777-105-100, 100-555-105-100. Hello, 30 seconds. What's your name?
From Carwell.
Yeah, go ahead. 30 seconds.
Oh, you know the brother struggle point. The first thing the government came will complete 419. They go to have a resource swap for China. We just see nothing. They talk about Ito and Iboma loan. We rectify document around here. People say even when the money comes from the devil, they want it. Because God knows he blessed the country and now work with the devil, the money never came. So that lot of 419 the government carry on. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Lord make them ratify it. You can say, well, Dr. Wapo, no time. Please, we have to hold on. How do you, again, I want to ask you, you have your supporters following you, your fair judgment. At what percent would you want to grade this government?
To be frank,
in terms of performance.
To be frank with you, I do not recognize this government. What we have in Liberia is not a government. It's a private enterprise, and George, you happen to be the CEO of this enterprise.
Is that how you want to close up?
I'm closing out that we do not have a government in Liberia. We have a private enterprise. Because, George, they usually come out with fictitious number. Where did they come out with signing $50 billion contract in this? The country that they went to, they talking about $50 billion contract. That country, 10 years annual budget is $68 billion. So if they take that $68 billion for 10 years, they take 50 and give them, what would they be operating on? Y'all not be serious in this country, man.
Government,
thank you very much.
The government really say they sound $50 billion?
$50 billion contract. They were all on air on their e-marshal website. When we go low, we're ready. We go low, they not take it down. In split second.
You want to check your information well?
I check it and it's clear and it's said it. Thank you. What a president that will travel on Liberian people tax money. He came to the airport and they asked him, how was your travel? He said, oh, you asked the president, how was his travel? Is he a demagogue? Don't be serious in this country, man. Thank
Dr. Jeremiah Zerwapo has been our guest on the final segment of this program. My name is Anthony JIFFAN, THEO Williams, and we are here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Until then, have yourself a pleasant good day from Monrovia. Bye-bye. Let's end with this song. Stay.